Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the show that doesn't get invited to family functions. The audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get podcasts from. I am Andrew, the Pogo King, next to the man who wants to be the leader of a cult just for the women, Mr. Dick Schisler.
And the power over the men. Come on.
Oh, you get off on that too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Women and power over men.
I really wish I was there in person for the discussion with, was that Koresh guy and the other cult leaders who, bring up the ideas, I'm going to take your wife. You're cool with that, right?
And I guess at that point, they kind of have to be, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because it's do you think they're going to kill you? Or, what do you say with the cult leader?
What if you say no? No, bro, she's mine.
Well, yeah.
Not part of the rules. Sorry.
I like it.
You know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
So anyways, you'll have to let me know how that goes once you become the cult leader and how many, what the tote board looks like for the women afterwards, all right?
Those cult leaders get a bad rap, man.
Yeah, they do. Well, the weather's changing a little bit. It got a little chilly overnight. Yeah. Now you can finally wear that sweater and not look like a fool.
Well, it gets cold in the studio sometimes.
That's what you say. So it reminds me a little bit, though, when it gets colder weather, I start wearing, longer pants a little more often, and I also start wearing taller socks, And one of the things that always bothers me... Well, okay, so let me ask you something.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. This is serious now. It's serious.
Do
you ready?
Do you have a tall sock?
Serious. Yeah, a drawer just for tall socks. What size shoe do you wear, Dick?
10.
Okay, maybe you don't have the same problem I do. But I wear anywhere from an 8 to a 9, depending on the style of shoe. Yeah. Most of my shoes are going to be 8.5, right? Well, when you go to buy socks, they say fit men's shoe sizes 6 to 12.
Okay.
My ass. Okay, so for the last, the large majority of my adult years, I have been wearing socks where the heel is basically in the middle of my calf because it doesn't fit me. And I'm wondering if guys who have size 12 or the other way around where their heel is basically in the arch of their foot. It's so annoying. So I noticed today when I went to put my socks, I'm like, oh yeah, it's that time of year where I've got the odd heel. God, so annoying. How hard is it to make a pair of socks in different sizes?
Well, stop buying the same socks.
They're all that way.
No,
it's not so bad with the
the
short
day
socks.
Of the internet. There's probably some complainer just like you, and they make a little ad saying, "You tired of having the heels of your socks on your calves?
Are you a little petite man like me? Then you'll enjoy these socks."
Let me ask you this though: are you the type of person that has a winter wardrobe?
Well, I did before I moved here, no doubt. It got a little bit colder in the DFW area, especially working in downtown like I did. But since I moved to the Houston area, man, I have a drawer full of sweaters I haven't worn in years.
Well, yeah, because I remember...
It just doesn't get cold enough.
When a girlfriend literally changes out her entire closet for the winter. She takes all their clothes out, and she had clothes in storage that was for winter. And I was like, that's way too...
It's got to be a woman thing.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know.
Also would like to show the onesies here. I have a new fully functioning transformer. This would be Optimus Prime.
That looks like a knockoff, dude.
This is, it may be.
But
before you make fun of it, my son bought this for me after listening to the last episode and the traumatic story that I told of breaking my Optimus Prime on Christmas morning of 1983. He heard that, and so thank you, Austin, for getting me a Optimus Prime.
Well, hey, Austin, maybe you should shell a little bit more dough and get a non-knockoff.
Austin, it's fine. It's fine. Trust me.
No, he cares so much.
So how was your weekend, man?
It was good. Worked all weekend and hung out with friends, and I was kind of disappointed that the cold front didn't come on Friday so we could do fires.
Oh, yeah.
So
I have a fire pit at my house, and if I ever invited you over to my house, you could enjoy it with me.
Well, you're not allowed to invite me over.
Yeah, I don't ever invite you over, though.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We learned that last week.
Yeah, I'm that friend that people don't invite when there's family around.
Right.
because I'm always the guy that brings up the most random conversations, especially if it's political. I'm like, what do you guys think of this wiener guy? He's been showing his wiener.
Yeah, time to go home, Dick.
Yeah.
It's getting late early.
Yeah, always the conversation ends up with guys named Wiener when I'm talking.
Inevitably.
Yeah,
Inevitably.
I think it's because my name's Dick.
You think?
I think that's
that's what it is.
Other than that, man, it was good. It was a beautiful weekend. Just
what's your Tinder feed look like these days?
Oh, I didn't do any of that.
You're asking married men that?
Yeah, did you see this girl?
Yeah. I don't even care if she's a bot, man. Check this out.
Yeah. I love it, dude.
Well, I am sipping a beverage.
Oh.
I don't know if you've noticed or not. It's a beverage from Ingenious Brewery.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but perhaps we have somebody here that could tell us what kind of beer this is.
Oh, we have a special guest.
We do have a special guest. As teased last week, we have Matt Black from is it Matt or Matthew?
Whatever you fancy.
Matt Black, everyone, from Ingenious Brewery.
Matt Black sounds a little cooler, so we'll roll with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you have the distinguished honor of being the very first guest that has come back twice, maybe because he brings beer. I don't know. There could be a correlation there. But welcome back to Audience of One, Matt. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here. We're drinking this Houston Helles Lager. I had some stashed away in the fridge because this is our end of summer, beginning kind of fall beer that we make for the in tribute to the Astros. So
is it on sale now because they lost to the Rangers, or just gonna throw that out there?
It's already all gone, so we don't have to worry about
okay, cool.
That.
Yeah,
everybody drank it during Game 7.
It's actually really good.
Yeah,
very light.
It's a Helles Lager, so it's a German style lager. Just an excellent beer. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah. Well, I keep up with you guys on social. And it seems like you guys always have really, really cool events going on at the brewery. Is it a brewery or what else did we call it? Last week we were debating on what to call it. Was it Ingenious Brew or Ingenious Brewing? That's what it was. Ingenious Brewing, or is it Ingenious Brewery?
That's a brewing company.
Brewing.
So yeah, well, it's considered to be a brewery. When you're talking about it in terms of that, but when you're like just talking about it, it's an Ingenious.
Okay.
It's a brewing company, but we call it a brewery when you want to go.
Perfect.
Come out or tap room, whatever you.
Well, at your tap room, you always have these really cool events going on, like Mario Kart racing and stuff like that. And I have to ask you, I don't know if you've ever participated or been there when those events are going on. Is it usually like a teenage kid that wins those things? Or is there like an age restriction? You have to be 21 and up to win. I mean, how does that work?
Well, I mean, we usually try, obviously it's a brewery, so we want more adults to come out. So we usually get, people that are in their, 20s or 30s coming out to play the, Smash Brothers and Mario.
They still play video games.
Yeah, I mean,
losers.
Well, there's a reason I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm in my late 20s and I play video games still, so it's definitely, my generation is real big.
I'm in my almost 40s and I still play World of Warcraft.
I know that. No, I asked if the kids were winning, not necessarily if they were participating.
Yes, yeah, there will be a few kids that'll play, and sometimes it's a competition.
And then I complain, what are kids doing in a brewery?
That's my favorite part, though, is just beating the kids,
Yeah, so the reason I ask is years ago when my daughter, at the time she was probably 11 or 12 years old, started, playing Mario Kart. I'm like, I'll show you how to do this. I played this back in the day. And she didn't just beat me, she whooped me. Like, she was significantly better than I was. I'm like, wait, how did she get to be so good at Mario Kart? And, of course, eventually I played a little bit more, and it got to the point where I beat her every now and again. But I was just wondering if this is just my daughter, or is it all these kids
just suck at Mario Kart?
Yeah, you're probably just not very good.
That's probably what it is. I think we've identified the issue here. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
But it looks like fun out there.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, like we like doing events like that because it just brings different types of people out to the brewery. And when we have a Puerto Rican night that we do, and it is insane. We have a Puerto Rican cuisine food truck that comes out.
Nice.
And we do beers that are Puerto Rican themed, I guess, fun names, and we'll add citrus fruit flavors and interesting flavors to some of our beer. Like we small batch stuff, and we'll add like tangerine to an IPA or something. And throw it on
Trying to think of a traditional Puerto Rican meal. Isn't it like fried bananas? Don't they do fried bananas as like a side dish?
They have quite a few different things. I'm not going to go on about them because I don't want somebody to be like, oh, that's not a Puerto Rican dish, but we definitely have a food truck that comes out and provides food for the event, and
awesome.
we get a really good local community that comes out for those. So we like to do themed events that bring different types of people out.
Let's let the people know that Ingenious is, if you want to know any information, I put links and locations and all their social media. So if you want to check it out, see what they're doing, It's all right there too. So as we're talking to Matt from Ingenious Brewery, I know some people are kind of like, "Well, where is this?"
Humble, Texas.
Humble, Texas.
Not humble.
That's right.
It's humble.
Humble with an H. Yeah, I saw you guys had like this serial killer trivia night a few weeks back. That looked like a real trip. Bet that's something
I'm
you.
about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I bet that's something you probably
Yeah.
would have done pretty good at.
Yeah, theme trivia nights are fun too. We get very specific, that way we bring different fans out from different types of movies. Because when you do general trivia, like general categories of trivia, you run out of ideas quickly. So we will do like Will Ferrell trivia, Adam Sandler movie trivia,
Yeah.
and then we'll also get real specific. Like we'll do a certain movie, if it's a series like Halloween movie, right? We'll do a whole thing about all the Halloween movies.
Well, if you have any say in like what the multiple choice answers are up on the screen, the next serial killer, have Dick Schisler as one of the options.
I would love it.
Local serial killer.
No, what's great
No,
though,
just as one of the options up there's like Son of Sam or something,
No,
and
we'll
then B
do-
is Dick.
no, what we'll do is we'll get we'll get a picture of me of the exact same outfit I'm wearing there. So when everyone sees it on the TV, they'd be like, "That looks like that guy a little bit. That's kind of weird."
Your eyes start darting left and right. Oh no!
You find yourself very quickly the last person left there.
I like it.
Oh, that's
I'm surprised
greatness,
you're
man.
drinking an Astros beer.
I told you I'm not an Astros hater, man. I
Yeah,
told
you
you I'm
are.
not. No.
Well, if
I'm
you're a
just,
Rangers fan, you gotta hate the Astros.
I just told you I'm a Rangers fan, but that doesn't mean I'm an Astros hater.
Okay.
Okay.
Boo.
Fair enough.
See, you guys have hate in your heart. That's all there
Of
is
course
to
we
it.
do.
Just because we got beat.
I know y'all are salty, man.
Because we got caught cheating. That's why we're mad.
Do you know how many other people didn't get caught cheating, though?
I mean, who
A
cares?
lot.
Probably a
Yeah,
lot.
Probably,
A lot.
Probably the
Probably a lot.
Rangers. That's
That's
probably
like-
juicing.
That's like the number one comment that people give the Astros about, oh, we should, like if you go on like Facebook or Instagram, people will rant anytime they post Astros, like
Those people aren't even
success
real,
stories.
though.
Yeah. So, yeah, most of them aren't, but the ones that are will sit there and cry about that. And if you actually went back and looked there, the Dodgers were getting hit, like should have gotten hit for it. The Yankees,
Yeah.
there was other teams.
Yeah, there were several,
So it's like
I've seen that hat.
everybody cheats.
but
or
not
did cheat.
everybody brought a trash can. Trash can lid. Yeah.
Not everybody gets caught.
Right.
Again, I would love to watch that. Some guy's job was to hit a trash can. It's like,
It's out
Yeah,
there.
they have
You-
video?
You can see it.
They have videos of them like actually banging on the trash cans.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why nobody said anything before. Like, what's this guy doing banging on a trash can? Like,
I mean, it's all. I think it's a cover up.
yeah.
It's not. They wasn't just trash cans. They're juicing and doing all sorts of stuff.
There was more important events going on at that time that the whole cheating scandal covered up.
I love it. But yeah, so we're drinking the Astros beer, which is pretty good. It's not piss, so that's nice. That's,
Yeah, we
Here we go.
yeah. So last time we had I guess Dick had a line of measuring beers whether or not it was piss or not piss, which was pretty interesting. We have a story, if you'd like to cover that now, of a man in China who was caught peeing in the Tsingtao beer vat, and I thought that was pretty
you gotta
egregious.
That's
to
gotta
do.
be a good angle.
There is a picture. I don't know if you want to show it. There is a picture of him literally just
now I gotta
taking
do
a
stuff.
whiz in the beer vat. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got to.
But it's Tsingtao Brewery is China's second largest beer producer, right?
Wait, so. So he opened it up and stood there while someone filmed him, or he
I
got
think it was
caught?
it was a security cam.
Okay.
And it's funny because you hear people who don't like beer like, oh man, I don't like that. It's just based piss water anyways. Well, this goes to confirm
There it is.
it might be part of the.
There he is.
Oh
It's
no!
so wrong. So
no,
wrong.
this guy's got hate in his heart.
He really does. Astros fan. He's just mad that the Astros lost.
I mean, it was just a calling.
This is all going to the Ranger Stadium. All this,
You're right.
all this
They're,
beer.
they're shipping it off.
I mean, it's just a calling. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I guess so.
They show a
but-
picture of it on the shelf, like, "Hey, this is where you can find your local piss."
so I
Well,
guess that,
knowing beer weirdos, they probably want to buy it.
Right,
It's
yeah,
like
exactly.
a limited batch
yeah,
of
man.
piss.
It's like an error card in baseball.
I can't remember if we talked about this last time, but there's a beer out there that is supposed to be labeled as one of the most metal beers ever, and they made it out of they brewed it with human teeth.
Yes, you mentioned that.
I think we talked about that last
yeah,
time.
there's-
Oh, there's a video. I think.
Oh
this,
no!
This is him thinking
for
about
everyone
it.
that is
Oh my
for
gosh.
everyone that is watching, or I'm sorry, listening and not watching. We are watching a video of a man in China just relieving himself into the vat. Actually, almost looks like it's on the side of the vat, or is he walking inside of it? I guess. Oh, you know what that is? That's one of the ingredient buckets. That's like
Yeah,
That's
that
like
looks
some
like
of
that looks like malt.
malt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good idea. I don't recommend doing that.
It looks like wet malt too, based on the way
Oh,
he's
yeah.
kind of like.
Well-
so it was probably what this is right here. Is they probably whenever they got
secret
done with
ingredient.
it. Usually, like we'll give our leftover like grain and stuff to farmers, and they feed it to the cows. And so this guy is just like, hey, I guess we're either throwing this away or giving it to a farm. So why not piss in it? I don't know.
It says it's believed to be the container holding the raw ingredients for making the beer,
Yeah.
and he was
so
urinating
raw.
inside of it.
So then before it was made, then yeah.
So,
that's-
Dick, if you tried that beer, would you be able to detect the piss?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like when the cow got into the onion patch in the milk. You can taste it, right?
What?
Oh, come on. That
the-
was a
never
reference.
heard that?
That was a reference
ca-
to a movie, so I'm assuming you.
No,
and
the
it's,
cow-
wasn't it Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah, Napoleon
Yeah.
Dynamite.
The cow got into the
onion patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Napoleon was tasting milk, and he tasted one. He's like, tastes like the cow got into an onion patch.
All right.
Oh yeah.
He's like, tastes like a Chinese man peed in it.
You know what's funny about that scene too is the old farmer, the farmer that's in that, you can like barely understand anything he's
Yeah.
saying. He's like, "Wah, wah," and he talks like that, and
He
that
understands him
scene was
completely?
improvised. Like they just kind of let him rant like while he was sitting there, and he was like pointing at some stuff out in the field, and they just kind of played along with it because I mean you couldn't understand anything he was saying anyway, so it really didn't matter. Yep, the script. Thank you, sir.
I don't need to clean out my glass, do I?
I would say probably for the last ones, yeah, but this next one you don't really have to unless you want to. But
I
I'll
have
do it.
quite discerning taste. So we're going to go over this next beer. Matthew, what else have you brought us from Ingenious Brewery?
So next up here, we have something a little bit more fun and interesting. So this is a lemon lime seltzer.
I don't know how it can get any more fun than that.
Lemon lime seltzer that we made. 110 calories, no carbs, no sugar. So it's one of those kind of guilt-free beverages, but it has edible glitter.
Need water?
It has edible glitter in the beer. So it's
Edible glitter?
It's gonna sparkle in your can or in your glass. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I smear some on my forehead before I go to the club?
Sure. You can also like watch it come out later too. It'll be great. And it's like a
does it
win-win.
really?
Yeah. No, I mean,
A beer and a show.
yeah.
Hold on. It is, so you probably, I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but it is glimmering, right? It's glistening like it has glitter in there. You mean to tell me later I'm going to have sparkle pee?
Other way.
Oh.
Yeah. It doesn't. Your kidneys filter it out, but
I'm going to look like a troll, right?
Yeah.
Didn't that what happened in the Troll movie? Didn't he,
Andrew, will you help?
Yeah.
Will you?
Yeah.
Give me an assist. Thank
Yeah. Come on, man. We got to get a system down here.
And by the way, I put that water in there just to piss you off.
Okay, good. Because I was like, this
I knew what you wanted.
This guy.
Yeah. So
Anyways.
it's hard to see probably on camera, but
Oh,
if you go to
I can
our
see it.
if you go to our social media, that we just posted a picture of us pouring it in a can on there, and it's like they
Oh
took the glass and swirled it, and it just like spins around in there. It's really good. It's nice and it's very crushable.
Oh, yeah, I could crush a few of those.
Yeah.
So, Dick, if you were the cult leader, would you mandate drinking this sparkle beer? Because this stuff is phenomenal.
Is it a beer?
Might loosen up the ladies.
Seltzer.
It does,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
okay, so this is a
seltzer.
seltzer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why it tastes so different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's our first canned seltzer, and we're kind of looking into getting into the market because,
Everyone else is.
Yeah. And we're a little late, but we put some sparkle in there. That way we separate ourselves from everybody else
There
because
you go.
nobody's doing the glitter, and we find that's people kind of have fun with it, especially social media. We get a lot of people posting these.
Yeah. You did put the camera off the guy peeing. We're back on, right?
Oh, no, I'm putting on a repeat for everybody.
Please
I
don't.
I
Please
like
don't.
It. I like it.
I'm hoping the camera still isn't on the guy whizzing over and over and over again. No, you're right. You guys kind of are a little late to the seltzer party, but I honestly think that's not a bad idea because the big initial wave has kind of come and gone, and now it's just your true seltzer fans are the only ones who are probably out there still buying it.
Yeah.
And now if you just have one that sparkles.
I'm not a seltzer person.
No? Well, this is good. I have to think. I quite like it.
Yeah, that's why your socks don't fit.
My socks don't fit because of my genetics. That's why.
No,
Hey,
it's because-
I was gonna say earlier, I'm with you on that though. Like I wear a 10.5, and even my socks will like if I try to pull them up to where they're like tight around my foot, I'll
Yeah.
notice like the outside of the back of the heel of the shoe is the
Yeah, it's like on your Achilles.
yeah.
See, and he's a 10.5.
Yeah.
We've got it.
Y'all are
They- I-
you're not
Amer-
buying
America-
the right kind of socks. I
We
don't
ha-
understand what the issue is here, guys.
We have a sock problem, America. We need to fix this.
Well, I also don't wear like white socks a lot. I usually just wear black socks, so it doesn't have the heel on there.
Yeah, it depends if they're tube or if they're like crew, right? And like the tube don't have the heel.
Yeah.
Are we really discussing socks right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss. I'm like,
Whoa, what's going on?
is that me?
I think that's you.
No. Everything's turned off.
That was me. I don't know what it was. I think it was Siri.
Oh.
She wants in on the podcast.
Yeah, she's like, y'all are idiots.
So I got to ask you something. Has
What's up?
Ingenious ever offered like a
Socks and a beer?
like
That's an idea.
Sure.
like a nickel beer night or a $1 beer night or anything like that?
So there's a few things that we do. There are nights that we do discounted, not $1, but they're discounted,
Yeah.
like probably 50% off sometimes.
That's pretty good.
We also do 15% off cases on Sunday. It's called Catch a Case, and you come in and get 15% off. Yeah, we
Okay.
did that after COVID. Just kind of a fun little play on
what's
COVID.
a case? 12?
24.
24.
Buy 24, you get 15% off. And then we also offer free beer coupons to the community when I do like events. So if you see me out at your local HEB or like a pint night, I'll pass free beer coupons out there, and you can redeem it when you come into the brewery for a free pour.
Well, there you go. And the reason I'm asking, because I've heard of those promotions, you don't see them as much anymore. But I know when I was in college, there'd be $1 beer night, and that was always a recipe for just some bad decision making later. And I remember I've heard stories back in like the 70s where they would have nickel beer night at like the ballpark or something like that. And I think there was some really nasty fights that occurred after that.
So it probably went like nickel beer night then, and then when you were drinking, like when you were in, you said college, right?
Yeah. It was
So when you were in college, is $1 beer night, and then
Yeah.
now it's probably like $4 beer night, just because of the inflation of things. Like I
Yeah.
think $3 beer night is what most places do, like at like bars for their specials. So
Well, the reason I asked, from MSN.com, there's a restaurant in San Francisco that is charging a, quote, vomit fee after too many patrons get sick from bottomless brunch. And this is one of those things where it's like mimosas that all the ladies go to. Woo! And it's as many as you can drink. I think this says for $28. However, the ladies can't control themselves, and there was a rash of vomiting after enjoying the bottomless brunch, so much so that they have to submit a fee afterwards for cleaning.
that is crazy.
I mean, good luck getting me to pay that.
Yeah, but at the same time, why? That's a server's job to cut them off. I mean, like they're like, hey, we're serving you too much alcohol. Now we're gonna charge you. Like,
Well, today's generation has a different perspective of problem solving. They actually want to like
Somebody
count-
else's issue.
They want to count how much they're serving. It's more of like, hey, we'll just tack on $30.
It says, quote, "Dear all mimosa lovers, please drink responsibly and know your limits. A $50 cleaning fee will automatically be included in your tap when you throw up in our public area."
I wonder if going forward,
That's $23 for the
with
bottomless
everyone
mimosa.
using their cards like that, there's going to be different things like that where they can just easily tack it onto your bill.
Say that again?
Because everyone uses cards now.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So it's just like you don't really know what's going on.
Oh, the next story is related to that.
Because that's happened to me at a couple bars where like you're there after the threshold of the music, and then it's like, oh, you're here, you heard a song, that's $30 because you paid for a ticket, but they didn't tell you. They just
And it's line itemized, and if you're not looking at the line
Yeah.
itemized receipt, you probably don't ever even notice, especially when you're a big baller cult
Because
leader
Uber
like
does
you.
that too, don't they? Like if you throw up in their
Yes,
car, they'll
yes.
charge you
Yeah.
like $150 or something.
yeah,
like
it's
that.
like I think it's like $200. I experienced this recently, so yeah, I should know. I should know. It was bad. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe that's they're catching on. They're like, hey, we're gonna nickel and dime all our patrons.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what-
so this is in San Francisco. Apparently, it's called the restaurant is called The Kitchen Story, and it says the vomit fee seems to be working. There have been far fewer incidences of people unceremoniously, that's a tough word to say, letting loose. So do you think Ingenious at the tap room might ever have to install some sort of vomit fee?
God, I hope not.
Are there a lot of vomit incidences?
No,
there?
because that's why I was. I mean, at least Texas is TABC is pretty strict on that kind of stuff. I know there's supposed to be a certain point. I mean, I just took my handler's license, so there's supposed to be a certain point where you cut someone off.
I'm sorry,
So,
your what license?
handler's license, a
Okay.
TABC. It's a Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission, and you have to have a license to pour and serve alcohol, like yourself, and then the business does as well. So technically, you are responsible if the person is over intoxicated because you're the one providing the alcohol.
Are there terrible mimosas?
Yeah, it's probably just like terrible mimosas.
Well,
horrible.
think
Probably
about
Sunny
it, though.
D.
Think
Probably
about-
Sunny D.
Oh,
And
Sunny D and
champagne.
Andre or Cook's champagne.
I mean, think about it. Mimosas are already fairly watered down because you're watering it down with orange juice or whatever. And there's very little alcohol. How much of that would you have to drink to be vomiting?
Sometimes they make them strong. I've been some places where I'm like,
Are they adding something to it? Yeah, Sunny
Champagne's
and all the
supposed to
sugar
have-
and Sunny D.
There's a high alcohol content.
It's
in
like
it.
15% alcohol.
Yeah, that's high. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what
I'm
it
usually
is.
doing a bottle of drink.
So they made the fee for you, right?
I don't know. I throw up when I leave.
Sunny
so
D.
So I don't have
In
to pay.
the Uber.
No, that's why I love the idea. That's like they're not gonna give me this time. So he like goes outside and just throws up in the street. Comes back in. Can't charge me for that.
Were you a Sunny D fan as a kid?
No.
So even as a kid, I remember liking it for a sip, maybe two, but it was so sugary that it just like basically became thick in your mouth. I can't imagine mixing that with
Well, they
champagne.
have that propaganda now where it's like it's not real orange juice ever.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
it's just orange flavored soda, basically.
yeah. And I always like that because everyone else is like, no, it's real. I'm like, oh.
You know what is real? The amount of high fructose corn syrup in that thing. That's like the first ingredient, and then the second ingredient is sugar,
Yeah.
and then it's orange flavor.
Well, why do you have a problem with that?
Naturally organic. I don't. I'm just saying I don't like it. It's
Good with vodka.
Vodka?
Yeah.
All right.
It's like my childhood was very it was Minute Maid orange juice. That's what they served in school.
Yeah.
So if we wanted orange juice, it was Minute Maid orange juice, and I can't. It almost was to me was like an orange peel. It wasn't even like orange juice. It was like orange peel juice almost. It was so bitter. I was
Yeah,
like, God,
yeah.
who drinks this? Like,
Yeah, I think they kind of make different varieties though. Like some of them will be, with pulp and less sugar, and that sort of actually resembles orange juice, and then others like just basically a Coke, which is orange flavored Coke.
I went to school during
Soda.
the whole Obama administration though, so everything got real healthy, real like from.
Thanks a lot, Obama.
So it had a lot of pulp.
yeah,
yeah.
it was high pulp and low sugar orange juice
Yeah.
basically.
Just to let you know it's real oranges. It'll get all in your teeth, and you're just like, thank you, Obama.
Yeah, but then Trump came in, it was sugar again.
Yeah, right.
Back to Chick-fil-A and Pizza Hut in the schools.
I would not complain if I had
God, no.
Chick-fil-A.
Our school lunches
man.
got terrible. It was it got real bad. I remember a transition from high school to junior high, and I was like, "What just happened?"
What blows my mind is now it's norm to get all 3 meals at school.
Yeah.
That blew my mind when I learned
I don't want to hang out at school that long to get all 3 meals.
But like you could go there, get your breakfast, and then get your lunch. And
I can
then
see
get
you're
your
there
dinner.
normally during breakfast time, but for dinner,
It's for
man, you got to be hanging out.
well, they do it for the kids that have parents that work late.
No, I get why they do it. It's just that kind of blows my mind because
Yeah.
it's usually like if I'm there, I want to get out.
Do you know how much square pizza you probably eat if that's your regimen? Wow, it's a lot.
They probably don't eat that anymore. They probably have some.
Oh, I'm sure it's still square pizzas.
Those were pretty bomb.
I'm sure.
Well, speaking of kids, a restaurant is charging a quote bad parenting fee to customers with misbehaving children.
I feel like you're coming up with
I
all
love
these
this.
concepts to sell to Matt. Like, you know what y'all need to do at your brewery? Like, you need to have no kids. And like, if they did bring kids and they're bad, you charge them.
You would be surprised how much business we get because we allow kids.
Oh, I believe it.
Parents like nowadays don't we have a lot of people that just will
Drink
come,
your
bring
seltzer.
their kids, bring their dog, and like we allow it all. Just if not, we might not get that business that day.
Well, that's what's hilarious to me is the bars themselves haven't changed. And I even told my buddy this the other weekend. I was like, the breweries have become the bar for families. Because everyone back in the day would have their own place. Like the dad would always go to the bar, but now it's like, everyone can come. There's not like this isn't a standalone thing, and the fact that they allow food trucks and variety of stuff, and then and everyone has, especially with the seltzers. I imagine that's a pretty good deal for a lot of people because they might not like beer.
Yeah, so we serve wine, we serve ciders, we serve seltzers, and then we serve beer. We make the seltzers and the beer, and then we buy local ciders, and some Texas wine, but mostly California.
The kids
wines.
love the local ciders. That's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Well, this is, again, from MSN, digging deep for these stories. A restaurant in Georgia is coming under fire for charging, quote, adults unable to parent fee. I love this, but apparently they've been doing this for a few years, and they put this at the bottom of the receipt, and a lot of people just haven't noticed until finally somebody went, what's this charge? And it's like, well, your child's a real, I'm on the radio, so I can't say fee. And I love it, though, man. That is amazing. It's a $50 fee again. Fees. So you're vomiting after endless mimosas? getting charged $50.
What happens if
Basically, if you're not classy, like you're getting charged, right? Your kids are acting a fool, $50. You're throwing up, $50.
I like
right?
it. I like it though.
Well, what it is, it's this PC culture now. Is like we don't want to kick anyone out. So it's like we will let everyone stay. Everyone's welcome, but we're gonna charge you more because you're a problem.
That's exactly right. What are we drinking here now, man? We've moved on. He's still over there
Dick's
babying
got the
his
can over there if you want to hold it up for everybody.
dude, the Terminator.
That is our Terminator beer that we make. Just like to have fun with it. It is a 10.5% hazy, triple hazy IPA with all Citra hops. Super juicy. And you're going to be surprised that it's 10.5% when you drink it, too.
10.5%. I don't know that I've ever... No, I probably have had a beer that strong, but not very many.
Well, get ready. The next one's 14. So.
Holy cow. So what I love the best... Oh, it does say 10.5 right there, all up in your face. What I love about this the most is the art. And we all know what scene this is from that movie. Let's admit it. We all cried a little bit when this happened at the end, when he was in the vat of acid or lava or whatever it was.
Lava.
Yeah.
And he gives the thumb up, and I'm like, I'm not crying, you're crying. That is pretty sweet. I do like that.
Our brewer was born, I believe, he grew up in the 80s, so, there's a lot of 80s
Are you saying he was born in the
references.
70s, so he's kind of old?
Yeah. He's an old man.
I may know someone who's born in the 70s.
But no, we just do a lot of references like that, like the Halloween beers that we do as well, and that's something I was going to touch on too. Is we make like a cereal beer Halloween lineup where we take 5 different beers and take the cereal from each of those and try to infuse different flavors to make them taste like the cereal. And that was another thing that was really popular in the 80s was the Monster Mash, different cereals, the Frankenberry, Boo Berry, the Count Chocula.
Yep.
So that's something else we try to do. We do a lot of Star Wars themed beers, Marvel, themed beers. Just
This is really, really good.
Oh, this is incredible. This is probably my new favorite IPA.
I could see how this would become problematic. Well, this is a perfect segue. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to have some leftover Halloween stories, and we can talk a little bit more about the Halloween-themed beer. You're listening to Audience of One. We'll be right back. Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
All right, welcome back to the AOR Show, and we are broadcasting and recording live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. The show does air on Wednesday, but we have a special guest today, so we welcome back Matt Black from Ingenious Brewery. We're having a couple of their drinks right now. We're sampling different ones. And Matt, we're so happy to have you back for the second half.
Happy to be here.
And, if you haven't checked out that place, I highly encourage that you do so and check out some of these beers that we are sampling here today. Very tasty.
Well, I feel like some of the ones we're having today aren't going to be there when people go check it out.
This one will.
Okay.
The Terminator.
The Terminator.
Yeah. Yeah, we got that one for a little while for the winter.
Okay.
Bigger beers for the cold. Keep you nice and warm.
Are you going to make the sequel ones too? Like Terminator 3, and then you got Salvation.
So we've done like T2, the graphics will be way better than the first one.
So this is a 2-part series. We probably should make a third one too and do it because we do a quadruple IPA, which is 12.5%, which is incredible. It sounds weird, but actually Red Brick has it on draft, I believe, if you'd like to try it.
Nice.
But we do make another one called C800, and that is our 8% double IPA, and that just has the Terminator's skull on the front of it, like his face with our Hot Brain, the logo here on the top. And it's like all like cut out, and you can see like our logo.
Is that like what happened to him after he drank the beer?
Right. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. It just went crazy. And then we decided this year to make another spinoff of that beer, and they came up with the idea board was awesome for this, and this stuck.
I imagine holidays are a boon for you guys in terms of ideas, especially this time of year when you've got Halloween, all kinds of ideas. So you've got a Halloween beer themed over there, I see. What is that guy?
So this is one of 5 of our Halloween beer series that we do. This one in particular is called the Yummy Mummy. It is a 14% Russian Imperial Stout aged in Still Austin bourbon barrels. So we age it for 2 years in bourbon barrels. And then we also do Stout Chocula, which I have here. I don't know if we'll get to it, but I'll show everybody. So this is Stout Chocula, also known as Count Chocula, the cereal. So this is a chocolate marshmallow stout. The Yummy Mummy is an orange marshmallow stout. That's a bourbon barrel aged. We also do an imperial smoothie style sour called the Fruit Brute with cherry and marshmallow. We do a regular sour called Blueberry with blueberry marshmallow. We also do an IPA that is a strawberry marshmallow IPA. So all of them are Halloween themed.
Love it. Love it.
How do you get away with using those trademarks and stuff?
I don't know.
You just do it?
Yeah.
Nice.
There's
Oh,
a
look
couple.
how
That's a
dark
good
this-
question.
Yeah, there's a few times where we've been like, and not in hot water, but we've had like Hershey's
we'll edit that
email
out.
us.
Oh my gosh, that
That's
smells
okay.
delicious.
It's okay. You don't have to. I mean, we asked for
We don't have to edit anything out.
Yeah.
Andrew, shut up.
we asked for forgiveness, not for permission, right? So
Well, to me, you're kind of honoring something. So
Exactly.
it's not like you're making cereal yourself.
it's such a small batch too. It comes and goes. It's not like it's an all year type
Yeah.
thing. You know, it's not something that we come back to it each year. But yeah, you're gonna get a lot of notes of like.
Well, you're gonna be in trouble if it tastes better, because people will talk about how much better it tastes than Count Chocula, and then that's when they'll probably care about it.
Yeah, this one is incredible. You're gonna smell bourbon notes right out the glass. You're also gonna smell a little bit of dark chocolate and orange.
So is it the fact that it's aged in a whiskey barrel for 2 years
What?
increase the alcohol content?
Yes and no. So we can brew beer that gets up to 14%. Sometimes when you let it sit, the ABV goes up a little bit.
Yeah.
But what we do with this, basically, we have a barrel program at our brewery, and we have them all lined up on the wall, and we have barrels of beer bourbon barrels, whiskey barrels, rum barrels, tequila barrels even sometimes, and we'll put the beer in it and let it sit and age at room temperature in the brewery. And over time, the bourbon comes out of the cask and into the beer. And we'll test them. We just did this last Friday where we picked 6 barrels, we drill a hole into them, pour it into a glass, and then put a screw right back into it, and we'll test it to see which beers we should make out of it. That way we can see if it has like espresso notes. We'll make a coffee
this is
stout.
interesting.
Or yeah.
So, Dick's ABV level goes up the more he sits, too, by the way. So you guys have that in common.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried this yet. I'm kind of curious. I'm a little scared because
Ugh.
I am allergic to chocolate.
Are you?
So I am. I'm admitting that here on the air. My socks don't fit, and I'm allergic to chocolate.
see.
I've said too much. So does it actually have chocolate
No,
in
not this one.
No?
No. Stouts give off we use chocolate malt for stouts, which give off a chocolate kind of
God.
aroma. But this one in particular does not have chocolate in it. This
Okay.
has orange, marshmallow, and vanilla.
This tastes like a mixed drink.
Yeah.
This does not taste like a beer to me.
Yeah. This
It's
is
very, very strong because it tastes, I guess you can taste that whiskey in there.
yes.
Dick, are you still with us? Dick, hello.
Yeah.
Are you there?
There's more in here.
Having
if anyone
flashbacks.
wants
I
to,
think he's getting faded.
you want some more?
I think I may need to be careful on this one. I do have to run this thing because Dick apparently has already gone comatose over there. Well, we have a few leftover Halloween stories, or at least one story, because by the time this episode airs, it will be November 1st. So we're pretending like Halloween has already happened. Because we pretend like, we're live. We don't pretend that,
Yeah,
this is
nothing,
recorded.
nothing is
Imagination.
edited.
So last week, I said last week that by the time I was around 12 years old, I was kind of over trick-or-treating. It's just not something I wanted to do. But it seems like that is really flipped, where you'll see a lot of teenagers that still do it. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I did say, however, if you have facial hair, you ain't getting candy from me. I'm sorry. You got to at least be of the age to where you're not rocking a Fu Manchu or a stash or something like that.
Knowing you
But-
probably charge them.
Right? Yeah. No, I hand him a razor.
Old man fee.
Stay off my lawn and shave that stash before you come to my house. But no, what I think is interesting is that there are actually some states where it is illegal to trick or treat over the age of 12. Were you aware of this?
No. I was gonna say, like, if you are an adult coming up to me, right, and I'm sitting on my driveway, I got the candy in the bucket, and your costume is like on point, A+ costume.
Full
You
size
went
candy
all
bar.
out. Just no. Well, I was gonna say you get candy, right?
Or you're
if you
gonna
come up to me, in something and you're just with your kid and you like stick your hand out, like, can I have some candy too? I'm like, no. Like,
Yeah.
but if you look really good and you went all out, maybe you're just a kid at heart. I'll give you a piece of candy
And
Man,
a yummy mummy. Here you go.
yeah, and a beer, right? You're an
So
adult.
judgmental.
No,
Both
well,
of you guys.
that's because you probably don't have kids coming to your house that you're handing out candy to, do you? Do you hand out candy?
No.
Yeah, exactly. If you were the candy passer
Why
outer,
would I?
Exactly. If you were the candy
I'm
passer
not-
outer, you would be
I'm
judgmental
not
like
a-
we are.
I'm not a weirdo like you who like spends all month preparing for this one day.
I might. So
He does. He built like you just see his front yard.
So from NPR.org, from Chesapeake, Virginia, until recently had a 1970s law on the books threatening any teen caught trick-or-treating with up to 6 months in jail. Yeah, the city changed the law after massive backlash. I can imagine why. But it's this statute that still says that kids over 14 who trick-or-treat are guilty of a misdemeanor.
What happened?
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Why?
Point on the on the doll where he touched you. What made these people so upset? My gosh, let the kids have fun. Again, as long as they don't have facial hair.
What happens if they do?
Well, I just told you.
I probably stopped trick-or-treating when I was maybe 13, 14. So, I mean, even like it
I mean,
it's weird to make it a law, but I feel like that's kind of like
Yeah.
the point in your life
Get
as a
over
kid
it.
where you're like, I'm not trick-or-treating this
Well, there's a
year.
reason why they did it because probably kids are terrible.
I'm guessing. I don't know. It says other
Yeah.
towns have similar laws in Jackson, Illinois, to Rain, Louisiana. They all bar kids from 13 or older from trick-or-treating. I can't imagine that. But I guess if you're like some high school girl, are you kind of wooed by the boy who goes, laws be damned, I'm trick-or-treating tonight, babe. Watch this.
Let me get that fake minor ID here so that way people can
I'm
know
not-
I'm
I'm not-
underage,
I'm
right?
not trick or treating. I'm just visiting a friend. We saw
That's
you go up to
incredible, though.
multiple houses.
What a sad point right
Yeah,
there.
it is kind of sad. I really do think it's sad. And I had no idea that it's actually illegal. Well, my daughter will be trick-or-treating, or did. I'm sorry, we're pretending. My daughter did trick-or-treat last night for Halloween, and I don't have a problem with it.
Imagine that's on your record. Like you're
Right?
You're like, what'd you go in for?
Trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating.
Trick or treating.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to be in the town
Thug.
council meeting where that passed. Can you imagine the get-off-the-lawn guys in that room that passed that law? My God.
Well, I mean, there's got to be a reason for it, and I don't see. It's also kind of hard. There's so much chaos going on that night. I bet they're like, we need to have some like standard where people are just can't just walk around
How are you
neighborhoods.
enforcing that?
There's got to be like a gang in jail of just like the trick-or-treater kids, and it's just like they're
I mean, you can get
What are
away-
you in for, man?
No, but think about it. You can
Trick
get
or
away,
trick.
You can you get away with a lot of stuff on Halloween night, and then you also have a proportional amount of people going to neighborhoods they don't necessarily ever go to.
Right?
So if you're some guy who lives in a neighborhood and all of a sudden on Halloween there's 400 kids, I'd be pissed.
I am always entertained by the group of folks that drop their kids off in a neighborhood far away from their own
Yeah.
home just to go trick-or-treating. It's always entertaining. I never turn any of them down, but it's kind of interesting where you'll see the car door open and like 15 of them will just run out of the car. They'll go to a couple houses, they get in the car, and they take off. I'm like, wow, what just happened? I feel violated.
we used to do it. I mean,
course.
like you go to the rich neighborhood, you get the full-size candy bars, you know. So like,
Well,
you
that
just-
was always the underground. Like, which one? Which house are we gonna go to? What's the neighborhood?
my next door neighbor was like the only one within like I don't know how much, but the only one in our neighborhood that gave out the full size candy bars. So we were so lucky. The first stop was the full size movie theater boxed candy. And
Oh wow.
I remember neighbor Mrs. Ellington, R.I.P., I'm sure, because she was like 90 in the mid-'80s.
still kicking it.
Oh, yeah, of course she is. She would give out
She's single?
50-cent pieces. Dick, I don't know if she's single. Why
she-
don't you look her up on the Tinder app?
Yeah.
I know you're paying for it now these days. But she would give out 50-cent pieces. And I think I still have some of those 50-cent pieces from when I was a kid. It was awesome going to her house. It was the one house where I wasn't getting candy, but that was okay. She was handing out cash. And, inflation, that's like giving out $1 these days. Hell, maybe even more. I don't know.
Probably all stolen.
Mrs. Ellington had a pure soul.
Probably all
She
stolen.
did not steal a thing, sir. So are you familiar with the term coffee badging? I just said this incorrectly as we were chatting over the break.
I've never heard of that.
I hadn't either, but this story caught my eye. I know that you don't go into an office. I don't know your work situation if you check in and badge in and out of an office.
Badging.
Badging. Did you think it started with a V?
I thought you were talking about a badger.
Oh, like the animal?
Like the animal, like coffee badging. I thought that was like some cool slang term for something. Now I can see where you're
I thought you
going.
were saying coffee badging. Oh,
Oh, well, I mean, that's
Whole
another way to
different,
do
whole
it.
different story.
entirely different. Well, no, apparently as more and more employees are having to come back to work, a lot of people during the COVID break got to work from home, but they got used to it. And then as they're being required to come back to work, they're finding these really, really interesting workarounds. And one of them is a term that's now been called coffee badging. And this is where you either do it yourself or you get somebody else in the morning to go in and scan your badge. You walk around, you say your hellos, you get your coffee, and then you get the hell out afterwards. And you get credit, I guess, for being there and badging in, but you ain't there a whole day. Coffee badging.
I like it.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would really take advantage of.
I guess you would have to have somebody either like clock you out at the end, or you would just like stay there for an hour and then come back like at 4 right before.
So
for an hour.
I'm guessing these are not hourly employees. These are probably salary. They're just trying to get credit for showing up at the office, right? So
Okay.
when you badge in, it goes into the system somewhere that says this person is here physically,
Yeah.
right? And that's what they're trying to get credit for, which I think is pretty
Hopefully
awesome.
the coffee's good.
Wild.
Right? I don't think they care, man. They're trying to get out so they can go work from home. So I don't know. Do you badge in when you go to the office, so to speak?
I probably go into our actual office or brewery like twice a week. I'm like a sales manager, so I go and pick different areas of North Houston, and I spend a day out in the area. So like today, I spent the day in the Woodlands, Magnolia, Conroe area. Tomorrow, I'm going to be
Nice.
in Humble, Tascasita. Wednesday, I'll be in Memorial, Katy.
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of a remote
Yeah.
mobile worker, anyways.
But there are like once or twice a week where I have to go in and do some office work. I also do like coordination with our distributors too to make sure the beer is getting out to like Austin and Dallas and stuff. And we're actually working on a partnership to get our beer into the UK.
Sweet.
So yeah.
Road trip.
Yeah,
Wait,
right.
that doesn't make sense.
No, I hope I can fly over there.
Does
for
Does
it.
the channel go that far?
Do they eat Count Chocula in the UK?
They can drink it. They can drink stout Chocula if they want.
This says
Yeah,
of
that
the
Astros beer is going to go for a lot over there.
right.
There's a lot of Astros fans in the UK.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, yeah.
I
It
don't
says
know. I
of
don't
the of the 2,000 full-time U.S. workers surveyed in this report, over half of them, 58%, admitted to coffee badging. With
Wouldn't
8%
that
more saying
mean-
they
No,
haven't
what-
tried it, but they'd like
Wouldn't
to.
that just mean they're just skipping work?
No, they go back home and work remotely. They're still
What
getting
kind
their
of
work
job
done.
is like, hey, we just need you to badge in?
None.
None.
That's why it's a thing. Like it's a hot topic because people are just doing it.
They
They're
go
like,
in, get credit for being at the
Yeah.
office physically, then sneak out
Yeah.
after their coffee and work the rest of the day at home.
Yeah.
They're still doing their work. They're just doing it remotely, but getting credit for being in the office. Dick is really confused. You can tell this is a man who owns his own radio station and has never had to go into an office.
What is clocking in?
What is clocking in?
Well, no, I understand what clocking is.
What is remote?
But usually when you clock in, you clock out. Like
well,
you
it's not
said.
clocking in. It's badging into the office like through the security gates. It's not necessarily. I guess I'm
Yeah,
using
like
the
when
wrong
you,
term.
okay, think about it like this, right? Imagine a place like where we're at right now. If they have a security guard at the front, they check your badge and then you can come in, right? Now, I don't know if they do it here, but some places they do. So basically, you're just like showing face.
No, I get it.
Like with your Matt
You're
Lauer
showing
unlock.
face.
I
When you
get
do the
it.
unlock, it
I
would
get
say
it.
it would say Matt Black just came into the building somewhere in the software, so he's credited for coming into the building.
See, that's why I liked
Then he leaves immediately.
my COVID invention of the Segway person, where you can put your iPad on the Segway and you can drive it into work and have your FaceTiming everybody on the Segway. I like that.
Where do I
idea.
buy one?
Yeah,
It's just an idea I had.
he's an idea guy. He really is. So I teased this story last week, actually, and we didn't get around to it because we had so much content to talk about. But apparently there is a woman, and we've talked about this a few times, about people who are squatting in other people's houses, and it just drives us nuts. Can't believe that this is actually a thing. Well, apparently after more than 500 days of not paying rent, an Airbnb guest refuses to leave and then demands $100,000 to vacate. And I'm like, This,
My God.
wait, what's going on here? Well, I guess the way the story goes, this is in a real swanky, high-dollar area in, I think, L.A. or something, right? And this woman did a long-term Airbnb. And I guess what happened is during the course of her... Dick is making
That's
faces
so
over
strong.
Here. Yeah, it is really, really strong.
It's
good.
It's like it's like a mixed drink almost. You can smell it and
punches
taste
you.
the booze.
It punches you.
It does. It does. Well, during the time she was staying at this Airbnb, she started reporting issues with, I've got basic maintenance issues with the sink or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the owner of the home said, well, hey, let me just send you to another place. And she said, oh, no, you can't make me leave. COVID fears. This was well after COVID, by the way. It's like 2021. She was using this as an excuse. I can't leave during this time. You can't make me leave, blah, blah, blah. He even said, well, you can come and stay in my house, which, of course, turned around and backfired on him because apparently once he started offering alternative methods of staying, Airbnb then just said, we're done. We're out of this. They have no say in this. And this became one of those weird squatter laws, and now he can't kick this person out of his house. He's sent several eviction notices, but I guess because the home is actually like the guest house and it was never approved by, it never was coded correctly, the police cannot honor any of the eviction notices either. And this woman is now staying there. She's still there for years.
I was gonna say it was like a year and a half or 2 years now.
Yes.
From what I
And
understood,
you can't get rid of her.
No, I think from what I understood is like if she leaves, he can change the locks.
I don't believe he can. I mean, that seems like the obvious
If
one,
she
right?
if she leaves, if her belongings are not there and she leaves, he can change the locks. But if all her stuff is there, like that goes in with the whole squatter laws. And I wonder if this whole
No, that's BS.
like
I just burn it.
with yeah, burn it down. Like then what do you do? I mean, hey, but I feel like with Airbnb, that's a new thing. But I wonder where, I think the squatter laws originated way a long time ago when land was more of like a dispute thing, like the army tries to come and, they take your land or
Right.
something. You're like,
Right.
no, this is my land, my rights.
It is crazy how strong the laws are in favor of renters.
Yeah.
It is nuts. And I mean, I guess there's probably some good reason for it, but in cases like this, it seems like, good conscience would supersede here and overtake that, but that's not the case. It says the space was rented for 6 months at a rate of $105 a night, which brought the total fees to $20,793 for 187 nights. Well, it sounds like a lot, but now she's been living there for years. It's pretty cheap. Pretty cheap, but he can't get rid of her. And it's crazy because I know like Airbnb has really, really strict laws, or let's say laws, rules as to what you can and can't do in some of their rental properties. Like I've even heard of some of them saying you can't cook like certain types of food.
Yeah.
Like curry
Like
because of the
fish.
smell, or fish because we don't want that smell lingering for the next guest, and that makes sense. But in this case, they can't even kick the person out though. It's so weird. But now Airbnb, like I said, is out. They don't have to worry about it.
Well, the things I'm reading that pertain to Texas is basically the property has to be vacant for a long period of time for that person to become a squatter. So at first it's trespassing, but if no one's lived on the property and everyone identifies it as like a vacant property, then you can become a squatter. This lady paid
For a time.
so she knew it wasn't her property and she knew it wasn't vacant because she's paying to stay.
Do you want more of this? I wasn't gonna.
No,
Okay.
I'm good with that one. That's a bit much.
I mean, if you can have this one if you want. You look ready. You're ready.
Oh, no, I
you
just
dumped
thought-
that beer. He was like, "Give me the next."
No,
one.
I didn't have very much of that. That's what I was saying. But you brought up an interesting point, Dick, during the break when we were talking about this. Is wouldn't the castle doctrine law come into play? And I think you just really want an excuse to shoot somebody.
Well,
in your
everyone always
property.
has that excuse, right? They want that, and it's like this is like a pool house.
Yeah, basically, it's like an
Like-
addition or pool house, and so the laws apparently don't extend as they would to a normal dwelling or normal.
There's more to
housing
the
unit.
story than I think what you're leading on.
I mean, I guess there is. The
'Cause
fact is, this
'cause to
woman's been
me-
staying there for
Well, to
quite
me, it
some
just
time.
sounds like she didn't want to pay the bill. And
Oh, she definitely
and
doesn't.
then Airbnb doesn't want to he's like, you know what? We're not going to worry about this.
Yeah, I think she knew what she was doing. I honestly think this woman was like, oh, I can get around this. But how embarrassing. Wouldn't you be embarrassed?
No.
I don't know. Maybe instead
you're
of her
sca-
feeling like she could get around it, maybe it was more like that. maybe she has some sort of mental illness or something.
Oh, I think there's definitely some mental illness
where she's
going on
like,
there.
she thinks it's her house now. You know, she's like, this is my house, and at this point,
I see
like,
no
I have
problem. I see no problem with it.
Well, in a related story,
I'm gonna do that with Andrew. Just go to his house and be like, "You're my wife now. You're my daughter."
This is back to that cult leader thing. In a related story from CNN.com, it says a mother's love does have its limits, it seems, at least for a 75-year-old woman in the northern Italy city of Pavia. Pavla. Every week I screw up a city name. Every single week. Anyways, she had to go to court to kick her 2 adult sons, aged 40 and 42, out of her house because they refused to leave.
good.
What the heck is wrong with these people, man? I can't believe they actually did this to that poor woman, making their mom go to the point where she had to actually go to court to get these deadbeats to
I'm
leave.
surprised being in Italy, you go there, just get the mafia to help you out.
Yeah, you think? You think it's still that
Like,
rampant
I
over
feel
there?
like if I had a relationship with my sons, that I'm going to court to get an order for them to leave. I'm like, I'm just gonna pay someone to beat the crap out of you.
Okay, I mean,
Sounds like a lot of money though.
and
I bet.
I bet you pay more. I bet you pay about the same in lawyer fees though. At the end of the day, less hassle. You know, just hey,
and plus they'll
kick these. Kick the,
yeah, the lesson learned right there, right?
yeah.
well, I know you're always talking about the amount of work that you do for your father, so this probably won't be a problem for you, but the mother described her 2 sons as, quote, parasites, and has
Yeah.
been living in the family apartment without contributing financially or even helping around the house, according to the complaint filed by the woman who was not named. That poor woman.
She's not completely wrong there. I mean, technically, we're all parasites, all of us, even the 3 of us sitting here, right? Because think about it. What do? We use the resources of this planet for our own success, right? That is what a parasite is. It uses the host to make itself prosper, and so we're doing the same thing.
At some point,
the
Mother
planet.
Earth is going to sue you to get off of her, right?
Yeah, she's gonna shoot you out into space.
Yeah,
like,
shake
go to
you-
the moon.
Gonna shake you off like a bad case of fleas, man.
And I say parasites lightly. I mean, you know, it's just like a thing. Like I've heard a lot of people say, you know, just like we are sitting here using all the resources of this place to help our day to day go by, and that's exactly what a parasite does to its host.
You know, we had a story last week about a terrarium that a man put some spiderwort plants and some dirt into a bottle in 1960 and put like 1/4 of a cup water. And then in 1972, he opened it up to refill it, but since then has sealed it. Since 1972, and it has been completely self-sustaining for 50 years.
Bottle of water. What did you
It was
say?
a
terrarium.
A terrarium.
Oh,
it was
okay.
a 10-gallon basically jug, and he put water and spiderworts and dirt in there, and has not opened it in 15 years. Yet the plant continues to thrive, and basically it's an example of the planet Earth. It's self-sustaining.
Yeah.
It creates its own water, its own atmosphere, and everything in this plant. You can see it's like busting at the seams to get out. The Earth churns and makes organic soil rich.
You
again.
didn't
I'm
pee in the bottle.
yeah, right. Like the man from the Tsingtao Brewery. I'm sure every now and
had
then he
his-
opened that lid and just kind of took a leak in it. I'm sure.
Yeah, added his own organic material to the
Let's make this a little more realistic. All right, so what am I drinking here, dude? Is this the Count Chocula that I'm going to die on because it actually has?
This is
chocolate in it?
this is the Count Chocula. So if you know,
He's allergic to
For
chocolate.
warning,
Yeah, I like it. He's like,
Dick-
here,
Dick needs a
try
little bit.
this.
Does it have chocolate in it?
it does. Yeah,
So I'll drink it. Give it to me.
Yeah, I'm going to skip on this one.
good choice.
Yeah, I don't want to have some sort of episode.
Yeah, I don't have an EpiPen on me either, so that would be an
I-
interesting.
I
that
do-
would be an interesting podcast
You know,
episode.
I do it by choice because I don't want to help him when he's going down. I'm like, oh man, I forgot the EpiPen.
Oh, look
Sorry.
at that. Sorry about your luck, dude.
You are your wife, mine.
Talk about views though. Like y'all, the views would just probably skyrocket. Like
I would never
headline
know.
on YouTube would be man has allergic reaction on podcast, and it just
oh, man.
We've had somebody in a recording. I don't know if it was officially a stroke, but
no.
it was nuts. It was a young man, and he was just sitting there, he started having slurred speech, and this was without Ingenious Brewing being there.
Right.
And I looked in the camera view, and I was like, that guy's gonna fall, like he's passing out. And you hear me behind the curtain going, that guy's gonna pass out. And then boom, boom.
He's so helpful. Hey, that guy, look at him. He's about to pass out.
Well, there was like five people in the
that's
room.
the extent
and I
of
was
his
in
medical
and I was in the
training.
other room.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were
So-
sitting right. I was
No, this is the
picturing
old
something
studio.
similar to
This
this.
is the old studio.
Everybody's just like, oh my god.
So hold on, you
Dick's
were in
like,
a-
I told you.
Well, yeah,
I said
our old studio used to have like a barricade, and then it'd be a curtain. So like for me to go around, I had to like get up, go all the way out around the curtain, and into
So
the
you were
room.
like a zoo animal.
Yeah, it was great. I got to, like no one knew I was there really. It was great. It was great.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
So staying on this theme of places to live, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Guys, is that a word? I want
Sure.
to get used to's guys' opinion on this. There's a new residential
my
cruise
God.
ship that is starting up plans to be sailing around the world in May of 2024. So basically what this is, it's a kind of a luxury concept with multi-million-dollar condos where you can circumnavigate the globe for a couple of years, and it's going to cost you about $100,000.
I didn't listen to anything you just said.
He was mesmerized by the chocolate
That's
beer
good.
over there.
So should I address the beer first, or should we address the story? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it tastes like Count Chocula.
Does it? Like the cereal
it's,
count?
My best way to describe this one is a Hershey's Kiss because it's very heavy on the chocolate. It's almost like you're drinking without it being. It's not thick, but it's
good.
It's chocolate heavy. This is our best seller is the stout chocula. I feel like it's the best cereal too. Like when I pick if I get a cereal of one of them, I like chocolate
I
cereal.
think Fruity
so.
Pebbles has something to say about that. Just
Ooh.
saying.
Ooh. So you're a Frankenberry guy then, huh?
I guess. I actually, what do I like? I don't know. I like honeycombs because they're big. Yeah. They're not
What
small.
about that? Have you had
no,
the Halloween?
No.
Have you had the Halloween cereals? Have you tried one?
No, man. I
Halloween
haven't
cereal? I
had
haven't had
Dick,
cereal.
have
I
you-
haven't
Yeah,
had cereal in so
when you were a
long.
kid, though. When you were a
yeah,
kid.
yeah, probably when I was a kid.
No,
Not recently.
Right when I got Reese's Pieces, I didn't.
You're like, oh, my life just changed.
Game
I
over.
wouldn't.
Game
I
over.
wouldn't deviate at all. I was like, why would I not want Reese's Pieces for breakfast?
Oh, pieces or puffs?
Is it Reese's Pieces?
The
Puffs?
cereal?
Yeah,
Well,
the
the cereal,
Puffs.
yes, Puffs.
Yeah,
Puffs.
not-
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
Reese's
thinking you're
Puffs.
eating like candy
Yeah,
for breakfast.
that's right,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, technically it is candy.
My
but-
parents didn't care at all. And actually, trick or treating was a big night, so they knew they hadn't to pay for anything for a while.
Yeah.
we don't have to feed this kid anything. Just get him out there like one night a week.
Honey, look at all the breakfast items that Dick just brought back in. Amazing.
It's in a candy coma and you're on your floor in your bedroom.
You know what's funny though? Looking back at trick or treating, I don't remember eating all my candy.
You never did.
Yeah, and so
You go to bed, they pour half of it out.
because that made me think of how many things did my parents do without telling me.
You said doo-doo.
I know. I said it.
Well, they had to throw out the 1/3 of the candy that had drugs in it and like syringes because that was a full third of your candy. Always had syringes.
Yeah.
And then the other half they just threw away because they didn't want you to consume it, and all you were left with was like I don't know, Mary Jane's and Laffy Taffy.
They're terrible candies.
Mary Jane's?
Yeah,
You ever heard of Mary Jane?
I was gonna
the
say
candy. The candy.
I've heard. What are we talking? Are we talking about candy here?
Candy.
Yeah, we're trick or
I've
treating
never
in
heard
Colorado.
of. What kind of candy is that?
Peanut butter, I think, right? Mary Jane's are like little peanut butter. Has a little girl in the dress on the front. I
Yeah,
remember.
I don't remember. Being
Did they not make them anymore?
Yeah, I think they still do, but they're
Never-
like an
never heard
old.
of
They're an
it.
old school
Yeah.
candy, even when
It's like
I was a
it's
kid.
like Werther's like
Yeah, it's an
caramel-
old-fashioned
caramels.
peanut butter and molasses flavored.
There you
taffy.
go.
Ooh,
It's the kind of
molasses.
stuff you get when you go over to Grandpa's house.
That sounds real old.
It is. It is.
molasses. Anything that has molasses in it. This has been around for a while.
That's what thing I do love about those assorted candy bags you get. Like you can literally get Mary Jane's, and you're like, do they just reuse these? Like these been around for like 30 years.
No one has actually eaten a Mary Jane in 43 years. They just keep getting passed around.
We just need to have filler. So just use this. We found our old warehouse. We found our old Nestle warehouse. Let's just reuse the candy, guys. Let's just reuse it.
No one will know. No one
It has
will know.
molasses, so that's like a preservative kind of. So
Oh, man. Okay, well, I think I can skip this story about condominiums at sea. It sounds like no one is interested, and I guess
it was on a ship.
Yeah, so it's a ship, and it's kind of interesting. I was just wondering if you guys
Isn't
would
that just a
consider doing
cruise?
this. It's basically a cruise. Yeah, for a couple of years,
They
you
do
get
that.
And you said it was 100,000.
$100,000. You can get kind of a small little room. But my thing is, okay, yeah, you might be
But
traveling the world, but you're in this tiny
You know
little.
you can do that, right?
Yeah, but not for that length of time.
Yeah, there's live-in cruises.
Two things I would need
Well, I
to
guess
know
that's kind of what
first.
this is. Yes.
How often? I would need to know how often this ship stops because I feel like I could only be on the ship for a certain amount of days before I'm like, get me off this thing.
True.
And the other thing I would need to know is like, what is the food situation? Because when I go on a cruise ship, it's like they rotate the same like 4 foods, you know, because you're only on there for a week. So am I getting like a new menu every week, or are we eating chicken fingers and French fries for
True.
3
I'm just-
weeks?
the
I'm
truth.
just thinking about all the single ladies.
I'm just thinking about the bathroom situation.
And Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean you're on a ship with, a couple thousand people for
at the
a
end
long
at the end of
time.
the year, we get to rate everybody.
And at the end of that year, you're like, I've been with everyone on this ship. This is really awkward.
On a weird note, I'm sure things spread rampantly on the ship too.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm worried about the bathroom situation. If there is some sort of outbreak of bacteria, I want to be able to get off of that rather quickly and have somewhere to go. But if that's your house, you're like, dang it.
Oh, I'm sorry, you have no sense of adventure.
You're right. You never know if you're going to make it out or not. So the other week we talked about.
Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, you do it?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah,
You got
I got nothing else going for me.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
If
glad,
nothing
I'm glad
tied
you
me down.
realized that.
Nothing tied me down. It sounds like a fun thing to do, and I also have seen these I guess it's been around for a while, but these comedy cruises they do, and then the concert cruises. I think it was Creed and Three Doors Down.
That
are
sounds
doing-
hilarious,
it's
actually.
Concert cruise. They do them Practical Jokers for the comedy ones
Yeah.
and stuff, and I forget who. There's another one.
they do a lot. They have Texas Country. They have Star Trek. They got all sorts of cool stuff.
But I saw recently it was Creed and Three Doors Down. And it sold out within minutes, and I just think I don't know anything that's a themed or interesting cruise.
It's like a 90s music themed cruise, I guess.
Yeah.
Or is it 90s or is that early 2000s?
90s. Yeah, probably 90s.
Yeah, 90s, early 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, late 90s. Yeah,
Back in my heyday. Just saying.
some Creed.
Yeah, some Creed. So,
well, I'd be interested to see this boat because cruises.
I mean, I think it's in the story.
Cruises can be huge.
There it is.
So if
It's massive.
but if you're talking about a condo boat that holds 50 people, maybe
Have y'all been on one?
on a cruise
Yeah.
or on a
On a cruise.
condo boat,
Just on a cruise?
I have not.
No.
I've been
Do you
on
have
a
fear
cruise.
of the ocean? or-
Floating toilet, and I kind of fear that I'm going to get out there on the water and start getting a little freaked out. The fact that I'm way out there on the water. It's
really fun.
And pirates.
And
I'm scared of
bet-
pirates. Just saying. I'm just going to admit it.
I just went on one recently in January. It was a Mexico cruise, which excellent time to go because it's really cold here, but it's perfect weather. There. It's
Sure,
80s.
sure.
And one of the interesting things about it is at night, just looking out into nothing, absolutely nothing. It's
Correct.
just pitch black.
That's
It's beautiful.
That's when I start to lose my mind.
Just throw a rock and you can't see it. It's gone.
That's when you hear those stories of people jumping overboard because they're freaking losing their mind. No,
idiots.
not doing
It's
that.
just a cruise, man.
No, I haven't done it. I'm being a little facetious there,
do
but yeah, I've heard nothing but good things or mostly good things about them.
Because I feel like if you go on a cruise, you could just lie the entire time. You don't have to because you don't have to have an ID most of the time because you get a bracelet if you can.
It's
drink
maritime
alcohol.
law, bro. Anything goes.
What are we lying about though?
Your name, everything. You can literally make up anything you want.
Yeah, I'm the owner of what is it? Venmo.
Yeah.
I created Venmo.
Some obscure thing
Post-its.
I
Get
updated
laid
the flavor
like
to Count
crazy.
Chocula.
Just get yeah.
I made it new and fun for kids. I just changed the box art. Now I'm a rich person.
You just get.
But yeah. Dude, because the technology has made it so. Because when you went, did you have an armband and you could pay for everything? All
So
that
it was
kind
an
of stuff?
option to get the drink package, and actually we didn't do it because I found at the end of the cruise that we spent less money, and unless you're a heavy drinker, I'm talking you're drinking 8 drinks, 10 drinks a day, that you probably
Continue.
want to get the drink package.
Right. Continue.
But, there was no armband unless you had a specific there was also a soft drink package where you could it's more for kids. I remember when I was a kid, we went on one and we had a wristband for ice cream and soda, and we could go at any time. It would be 3 a.m. We'd be down there getting ice cream and soda.
Suicide!
One I went on, you did everything with the armband. So if you went into the the shops and everything, and you wanted to buy something, just like that.
Room card.
Yeah.
Everything was used for the room card.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to buy something, it was charged to our room card, and that was for everything on the ship.
Yeah, that's
Food,
why you can lie to
drinks.
everybody
Yeah.
because they don't need to see an ID or anything.
No.
I'm a cult leader. That's right. I don't have them with me here. They're anti-boat, but that's right. It's who I am. It's what I
I'm
do.
recruiting.
Yeah, exactly.
What a place to do it on a cruise. Just
Wasn't that what Scientologists have? Aren't they consider themselves seamen or something like that?
I'm sorry. So what?
Scientologists consider themselves the something of the sea, like seamen.
I thought that's what you said. I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to anymore.
talking about boats.
Talking about Scientology.
Yes, got it. Check.
They consider themselves the Voyagers of the space, whatever. But
And they're selling what again?
You ever heard of Scientology?
I have heard of Scientology, but I swear you
You're
said something.
killing me.
He said they consider themselves seamen.
Yeah.
Like sea man.
No, I got that.
Not seamen.
All right, I got it. I've never heard of that with.
Yeah, I don't think I have
with
either. I
respect
figured.
Well, no, it's actually what they're called. They're called the Sea Org. So Sea
there we go.
Organization.
That is not semen. All right.
Is a group of Church of Scientology staff members that have
Much
signed
different.
a billion-year pledge. It's a long time. But yeah, they have a boat.
Is anyone ever going to be around to see if that actually comes to fruition?
Look.
I'll be
pull it
waiting.
up. I'll pull it up for you guys. Look at that. See, they wear. This is their outfit. I'm not kidding.
It looks like the Navy.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
So it's like
an organization within their organization.
their newest branch of military, Scientology.
Yeah, that's it. Look,
Space Force and then Scientology.
I mean,
No, I've never heard of that. I'm
Look at the
terribly sorry. I
have you
missed
not
that.
done any research on my cult yet? I'm
Dude,
trying
what kind of boat is that? Like, look at
It
that.
might- it
Look
might
at that
not-
wheel.
It's probably not a real boat, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's like, what are they like? They got an old
Nah.
school like wooden pirate ship that they're
That's just for
Yeah.
that's just for the photo.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I can't believe you never heard of that.
I have not. All right, last.
That's got to be kind of weird though. If you're stuck on this boat and that one guy keeps bothering you. Like
Uh-huh.
your you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Sure.
because that's the only thing that's a downside of the boat is after a while you get used to everybody and you're like, oh, there's that guy. I had this girl that would like always talk to me in the morning, and she was a lot younger than I was, and it was really weird because her family was there, and she was just old enough, but not old enough, if you know what I mean. And it got really weird because we'd all go eat because you eat with your room. And so everyone at the table like was their neighbor or whatever, where that's how you got assigned. So this girl would always wait for me to come out of my room, walk with us to the breakfast, and I was like sat with her family.
Waiting for Dick.
Yeah, it was weird. That was a weird time.
Moving on. So, last story before we end the show here, guys. We talked a few weeks ago about how Dick found a man who was down on his luck and bought an iPhone 1 from him, and he used basically up until a few years ago.
He
Well,
was getting his stuff repossessed and he needed cash.
Dude, you sold an iPhone 1?
no,
he
bought it
I bought it from him
because he was down on his
because
luck.
he needed cash.
I was going to say, those things are worth money.
That's where we're going. The elusive
Yeah.
iPhone 1 from 2007 sells for $190,000 at auction. Of course, this is a in-the-box, never-used version, but oh my God, who's buying an iPhone 1 for $190,000?
How about it
Somebody
sucks,
is.
too.
It's dubbed as the Holy Grail
That's fine.
of iPhones. I guess, man. It's probably all tiny little screen or whatnot.
People
but
like
I-
that kind of
But yeah,
stuff,
but it's
so
not
why you
about
hating
that.
on
Right?
it?
It's not about that. It's about the uniqueness of it. And, the guy, whoever held on to it, why, I don't know, probably had no idea it was going to be worth that much, probably threw it in a drawer, and there you go. The rest is history. So if you had held on to your iPhone 1, Dick,
Well, I definitely used it.
I bet.
So
I bet.
for a lot of things.
It said earlier this year, a first-generation 2007 iPhone sold
It's
for
not
more than...
it's not just a phone, Andrew.
It's a way of life.
It's an internet browser too.
It is. All right, everyone. That's all we've got for
Well, we're
this
ending the
week.
show?
We are ending the show.
Why? I don't want to.
I think it's time to go, Dick. I
More,
think you've
more,
had too
more.
much.
There's got to be more articles and stuff we could talk about.
I mean, if you really want to.
Well,
Look up the woolly mammoth thing. See
I
if that's-
did.
you
I did look it up. They have $15 million in funding at Harvard to do what you were talking about.
I knew it. That's crazy.
So,
What are we talking about?
well, they want to bring back the woolly mammoth.
They
So
who?
they're like,
Some researchers at Harvard.
yeah, they're trying to. They found the woolly mammoth's closest relative, I guess, so to speak, and artificially inseminated with the DNA
Yeah.
from a woolly mammoth into a female of the closest relative of the woolly mammoth, and there's supposed to be one being born at some point.
And I think the concept is if they bring back older species, it might help climate change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, everyone,
They're going to fart just like every other animal,
we're
though.
getting pretty desperate. All right.
This is definitely
Let's
grasping
bring
for
back the
straws
T-Rex.
here. Yeah.
Let's bring it back.
Well, we can't get rid of diesel engines, so let's just go with the woolly mammoth. That's the next logical thing, right?
I mean, I think it's kind of fun.
I'd pay to see it.
I mean, if you're rich,
I think so,
You
yeah.
can
Yeah,
do
I'd
whatever
pay to
you
see it.
want.
I just
Yeah.
can't even imagine. Those things they're massive. I wonder if they're going to be the same size as they were, because I believe the woolly mammoth was like 2 or 3 times the size of the average elephant. So I'm curious.
They'll be
to
at the
see-
Renaissance Festival in a couple of years.
Ride the woolly mammoth. Watch
I
out for the
would.
tusks.
Right? Oh, man. All right.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we went an additional 2 minutes for that.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Ingenious Brewing then.
Yeah, we'll close up with Ingenious
What's
Brewing.
the-
What
what's
is
the
this
next
last
event?
Yeah, what is this last beer I'm drinking, and what is the next event if you know?
Please tell me.
Yeah, we went a little out of order. I should have done this one earlier, but it's a plum pomegranate fruit beer. So it's got tart plum skim notes with some juicy pomegranate backbone. The next event we're doing, man, I don't know what the next thing we're doing is. I would have to.
Thanksgiving.
Could you pull up our social media maybe so we could
for
look?
sure.
Yeah, let's look. Let's pull up maybe Instagram. That'll have, if you can. If not,
Pull
Facebook.
it up on your iPhone 1, Dick.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have to wait 30 minutes, but
with your
it'll pull
2G
up.
connection you got there.
Hey, man, I was pretty baller with that. People thought I was the coolest dude. I mean, little did they know I ripped
So
off
there we go,
some
right
guy.
there.
$70.
That first one right there. That's our event schedule. We post this on our Instagram. So it looks like we got emo night coming up. That's always fun. We just play a bunch of emo music. Just get
Every night is emo night for Dick.
throw some black eyeliner and
right.
on, and just get
like it,
real
man.
weird.
Listen to Morrissey. Yeah.
Charcuterie class, I see that. That's always a lot of fun. I know she'll teach how to prepare the different charcuterie
Hey,
board.
charcuterie, Dick, just in case you don't know, that's French for lunch meat.
Did I say it wrong? Did you just school me? Is it charcuterie?
Yeah, that's what you
It's
said.
not
right?
charcuterie.
Oh, I
Is
don't
it like
know.
a tomato?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even pick up the fact you said that. No.
I was like, God, no, it's not. Look it up. No.
charcuterie. I don't know. I think you say it either way.
And then we got Harry Potter trivia, November, so we got to get some Harry Potter in there. And then we do this on, I think it's the first Sunday of every month. We do yoga in the brew house. So
That's
you
cool.
can come in the back with all the tanks, and we do like a
Nice.
yoga class in there. Just like I said, trying to do fun stuff. Hook and Butcher's great. That is a steak and seafood food truck that comes out. They're going to be there Saturday and Sunday.
Dick will be there for the yoga night. He loves Downward Dog.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's his favorite.
But yeah, we got
Thank
some
you.
great events coming up. You can always find these posted
It's a
on
yoga
our
pose. What are you talking about? It's a yoga pose.
the downward dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the only one I know. All right, stop staring at me. You're weirding me out, man.
I mean, letting out my secrets.
But yeah, we post these each week. That way you can see what we have coming up. We also post our food trucks there to the left. And then there'll definitely be, we'll post in there what specials are going on. So that's what you guys were asking about the special earlier.
Yeah.
Friday is full pours for half pour price. So you can get a full pour of beer for the price that you would pay for a half.
You can get half a beer?
So you get a full beer for half the price.
Okay. I was like, people order half beers? That's wild.
Yeah, no, well, this one, the big
Yeah.
boozy one we drank,
Yeah.
we only served this in 4 to 8 ounce
Actually,
glasses.
we didn't
Okay.
even drink all of it.
So yeah, we didn't. This is half full still.
Yeah.
It's a lot to drink. That's why we don't pour a full pint, because we would have to probably instate that throw up
Right.
fee.
The puke fee. That's exactly right.
So yeah, come check us out. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. Always a good time. Great food, great beer, indoor and outdoor seating. So when it's cold outside, you can get in the warm. When it's too hot outside, you can get in the cold. Just
Awesome.
real good time.
Well, Matt, thank you for coming and joining us here again on the AOO show.
Yeah.
Much appreciated. I don't know if you want to come back, but you're always welcome. Remember, everybody, Wednesdays, 10 a.m., new episodes drop. Like, share, subscribe, tell everyone it's amazing. And, of course, go out and visit Ingenious Brewery.